For the first show of 2020.
2020 is not starting off well because we're already
It is
late.
starting off good.
We're late
As
already.
per usual, we are here at 7 or as close as we can get. There you go. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. I'm your hostess with the mostest. This is the Hubs. And we're so excited to have you with us for the first show of 2020. Please check out our website, hollywoodmatrimony.com.
If you're the hostess with the mostest, I'm the hubs with the chubs.
Oh, baby, you're sweet. You can find us obviously live right now on Facebook and YouTube. We're also on Instagram and the Twitter. So please go find us. Hollywood Matrimony. That's all you need to know. Okay.
Yeah. So today we're doing something a little bit different. We are going to do a couple of reviews.
Sorry.
Once again, with New Year's and lingering life things and big life news and all kinds of stuff, we didn't get time to go to the movies.
We have a lot of life news.
We didn't get time to go to the movies as much as we planned. All of our plans fell apart this weekend. So we only got one new movie to talk about. Well, technically two. I've got one Blu-ray. We've got one we saw together. But we are going to talk about two other movies. We picked a movie from each of our best of 2019 lists.
Yes, which is
and
fun.
Watched them. We have not discussed it yet.
Yes.
So we'll find out.
Because there was one that I hadn't seen and one you hadn't seen.
Right. So we watched them. They were on our list. And neither one of these movies were on the other person's list, obviously, because we hadn't seen them. So we're going to discuss today what we thought of both movies. And then also we're going to take a peek into the future. And look at the movies coming out for 2020 and see what we're excited about.
I'm excited about many things.
We probably won't hit every single one of them. I have a list. We'll just go through, kind of skim it, talk about some things coming out, that kind of thing. So,
and for those of you on the Facebook that can't see, there's a dog sitting on me. So I apologize for all the shuffling.
Oh, you might not be able to see it on Facebook.
Over here, I don't think you can. Oh, my hair looks good.
It's all fluffy.
I just did a blowout here on myself because I got this cool brush. It's a Revlon brush dryer combo thing.
I use it on my locks
It's
too.
A brush and a hair dryer. So yeah, my hair's nice and fluffy.
Mine is what I like to call Muay Thai ready.
I got into the shower before you did, so sorry. Your turn's next.
We have if you don't know, right before we teach this class, I teach a 2-hour.
Right before we have the show.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
His life is teaching.
Yeah, my life is teaching martial arts classes. So right before we do this show,
that is actually his job.
I teach a 2-hour Muay Thai class. Literally, we come home, we get cleaned up, we do the show.
Eat a snack.
Yeah, usually that's a lot of times why, because this seems to make sense. Finish your Muay Thai training and then have candy.
No, I'm having nuts. Nuts are protein.
That's being held together by caramel.
No, that's okay. It worked out for 2 hours.
Did she though?
I did.
Did she?
That's why I eat a lot. Or also because I'm just hungry.
You eat a lot because you work out? Do we want to talk about your workouts yet?
Yeah, I haven't been working out.
But I'm very excited. I'll post pictures on our page once it's all ready, but I'm converting my garage into my home official dojo that I've always wanted to have. And finally, I'm going to have my own official home dojo that I can train. It's not for teaching but we'll probably have some black belt workouts here or something. But it's really for myself. Because she got me for Christmas, I got a Wing Chun dummy.
Everybody.
I think it's called, what is it? Muk John? I think that's what it's called. It's a Wing Chun Muk John, which is wooden dummy.
Yeah.
It's like what Ip Man uses. I've always wanted one my whole life. She didn't even know I wanted one. She knew I wanted one, but didn't know I've been wanting one since I
had no idea.
Birthed.
Yeah. So I'm making dreams come true.
So it's super cool. But it spawned everything else. We got a bunch of stuff done with the room.
We bought some weights.
I'm hanging. Yeah,
all your weaponry's hung up.
Everything's getting displayed for the first time, and not just in closets and in her way.
Y'all don't understand how many weapons we have in this house.
And
Nobody better break in.
Here's what's upsetting now is now I have a place to display everything. Right before we moved into this house, she made me get rid of all my trophies.
You don't need them.
She has been jealous of my accomplishments for years. When we got married, my living room had all these karate trophies for my victories and my plaques and my awards. She goes, "This got to go." So for almost 13 years, 12 years, we'll say, they've been sitting in the garage collecting dust. And when we moved, she's like, "You need to just get rid of those." So I didn't think we'd have her.
But I wasn't the only one. Our child also.
Yeah, but she thinks everybody should throw everything away.
Is she one of those people?
Yeah, she doesn't think you should have anything.
She doesn't know.
She also complains about my art supplies.
Oh well.
Because I'm a professional artist, so you sometimes have to spend a little extra money on the right stuff, not just Crayola markers.
Right stuff.
So yeah, let's move on. So do you want me to talk about the one we saw together, or should I talk about my Blu-ray first?
Talk about your Blu-ray,
All right.
and then we'll go in order.
So I saw this lovely little movie called Girl on the Third Floor.
Oh, that's interesting.
It comes out this week. It's from Dark Sky Pictures. I haven't got to see Dark Sky Film, excuse me. I haven't got to see a movie from them in a while. They put out a lot of cool horror stuff. They put out most of like the Hatchet movies and that kind of stuff. But this stars Phil Brooks, that wrestling fans will know as CM Punk. It's a starring role. He's the lead in the movie. Somebody named how would you say that? Triste Kelly Dunn. We'll call her Triste Kelly Dunn. I don't know who she is.
That's cute.
Anyway, so basically, I'm gonna read you. You want me to read the synopsis?
Yes, read the synopsis.
Instead of telling you, we're gonna read. Somebody's got paid to write a synopsis, so why don't we read it?
Read it.
What they're working.
With feeling.
Okay. Bursting pipes, rotting walls, and unidentifiable slime were not what Don Koch expected when he convinced his wife Liz that he could rehab their new Victorian home himself. In over his head, under duress, and tempted by his old weaknesses, Don soon discovers that the house has its own dark, sordid history. It won't be so easy to renovate after all.
Is it like an Amityville house?
Yeah, it's kind of it is the haunted house kind of thing where it's partially like the house itself is alive. It's one. Okay, so here's the thing: is it's by the end of the movie, it's enjoyable.
Okay.
The first half takes a little bit to get going because you're having to. The movie only runs about an hour and a half ish, and you're having to meet the characters. And it's very minimal about the characters. So like you have CM Punk is the main guy. He's by himself in this house with his dog, doing the remodel. His wife is living somewhere else, finishing with work, waiting for her to get there. She's pregnant, so they want to have her in the house while the remodels and stuff is going on.
Yeah, of course.
You meet like a couple of neighbors. You have one friend show up, and that's pretty much it. The rest of the time, the majority of the movie is just him in this house alone. And stuff is happening like you see like ooze coming out of the sockets. You know, like
that's
this white
okay.
clear ooze, and he's like, what is that? You know, and the dog barking and stuff that's not there, and just things not cooperating. And then, you know, he meets this mysterious woman from the neighborhood, and there's some seduction, and he already has a past.
It said that.
You know, so him and his wife are kind of working through some things. So, but you get through the first half. I'll give CM Punk some credit or a little leeway because he's not an actor. He's a wrestler. He recently showed up in the remake of Rabid that the Soska twins sisters did. He was pretty good in that, but he has a very small part. This one is his full lead. Some of the performance is kind of up and down.
Yeah.
It's typical, and it's not a bad performance. It's just somebody that's just needs more time to fully develop as an actor. But he does a fine job carrying it. But by the time we get to, but it takes a little while to get to things really happening. Things start happening. It's kind of cliched. You know, this typical stuff you expect in these weird haunted house movies. But the last half is when it gets super gory and whacked out and crazy.
That's
and there's a great moment that involves somebody being skinned. There's some crazy violence. So it has kind of a ending that's kind of worth checking out, but it's also a movie that might not work for most people. So I enjoyed it. When I watch it again, probably not. But I did enjoy the movie for what it was. Like I said, a little cheesy, a little cliche, but that last act kind of makes up for everything that came before it, if you can get to that point. So if you like CM Punk, or you just like checking out movies that involve haunted house type things or possession kind of things, then give Girl on the Third Floor a try. It says, home is where hell is, which is true for most marriages.
Wow.
So you could have saw this and just thought this was just about somebody's marriage.
Wow.
So RogerEbert.com says it's a unique vision that satisfies from beginning to gory end. And Film School Reject says it's an effectively unsettling horror film. You know what Film Threat says? They say it has enough carnage and bloodshed to satisfy all gorehounds.
I hope so.
Not really, because it's just at the very end. But here's what's funny about these reviews. If you ever see these little snippets of reviews, most of these are kidnapped out of a review. And sometimes these could be kidnapped out of a bad review. And it could say, hey, this one scene's really good. And it was that I loved what they did. They didn't really work really well, but it had a unique vision that satisfied from beginning to end. And the rest around that sentence could have been horribly bad review. But it's clever marketing.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's one to try out yourself. It's not a bad little movie. I think it was fun. If you like this kind of stuff, check it out. It'll be out on Tuesday from Dark Sky Films. Girl on the Third Floor. What are you doing?
I'm getting prepared for the next movie.
Oh, we're going to talk about that. I forgot about that movie altogether. So, okay, we're talking about two different movies now.
Oh.
That's not even one I was going to talk about, but we can't because I didn't finish it.
We need to.
Well, normally I don't think about it because if I don't finish a movie, I usually don't review it.
But I think it's
But
important.
let's talk about this one then because we haven't finished it. But this next one was a movie that's been out for a while. We're not sending out Blu-rays or anything, but they sent me a digital link. I completely forgot about it. Not on purpose, just through the holidays and all our family stuff that was going on. So it dawned on me the other day, and since we didn't get to leave, we were like, hey, let's watch this one.
Let's watch this.
It's a movie called Lucy in the Sky, starring Natalie Portman, John Hamm, Dan Stevens, and the guy from Burn Notice.
Yeah, Burn Notice is in it. Jeffrey Donovan.
Jeffrey Donovan, Zazie Beetz. So tell everybody what it's about.
So the movie centers around our main character, whose name is Lucy.
But it's based on a true story.
Loosely based on another event, which we'll get to. But Lucy returns to Earth and is having a little bit of problems.
She's an astronaut.
She's an astronaut having problems.
You just said she returned to Earth, and people are like, what?
Sorry, she went on a mission to the space station near, in the space.
In the space.
Which I know about now more because of the Snoopy in space. So there's Earth and that space station, and then the moon is even further away.
If you'd like to hear more about Snoopy in space, go watch our last week's episode of TV Tuesdays. We talked all about Apple TV's new series, Snoopy in Space.
Anyway, so Lucy comes back from her mission, and she's having a hard time adjusting. And you find out through the course of the film that all the astronauts have been in space.
Did we find that out?
Yeah, there's a whole conversation they had. You might have fallen asleep at that point.
I did many times.
But there's a conversation time is different, and they can't adjust to normal sleep schedules, and everything's just off and weird, and they feel awkward. But they're saying part of it is the G-force coming in and out of Earth. It jacks up your system.
Guinea pigs?
Yes.
Or Battle of the Planets.
Battle of the Planets.
Or the Breakdancing Company.
Either.
These are all G-force.
So anyways.
G-force.
She kind of starts to lose it. Her time is lapsing, kind of like blackouts or just skipping in time.
Did you know that the G-force are the Science Ninja team?
Really?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what the film's about, but
let me tell you what I learned about this film.
What?
I learned that I had no idea what was going on in this movie other than she had been in space. She was whacked out at home, and I was completely bored out of my mind.
Well, and then she starts having a relationship.
I figured that part out because that was easy to figure out with John Hamm.
With another astronaut, but...
Was he an astronaut?
He was. He'd been in space as well.
Who knew?
It's actually forbidden. They're not allowed to fraternize.
It's forbidden to have relations in space?
No. Between each other. They're not allowed to fraternize at all. Anyways, but
I don't know what happened in half this movie. One, we didn't finish the movie. We got about an hour into it.
More.
Barely.
And there's still another hour to go.
We stopped because we were hungry and wanted to go eat dinner.
I wanted sushi.
I was bored off my mind. I don't even dozing in and out of consciousness. I was totally not even listening, paying attention anymore because I was so bored. You were like, well, I'm going to stay with it. And I usually do, but I just couldn't. I didn't care what was going on. And now I'd got to that point where I didn't know what was going on because I stopped paying attention. And normally I wouldn't even talk about a movie because I believe that if you don't watch a whole movie, you have no right to review it. So that's why I didn't write a review. I wasn't even going to talk about it today, but she brought it up. She hasn't finished it. But
I am going to finish it because this is actually based on the Lisa Nowak case, which for those of you who don't remember,
which is why I was interested in this movie.
I had no idea it was based on that because I wasn't going anywhere, unfortunately, for the first hour.
I'm assuming the second hour, that's where it happens.
So I'm hoping the second hour picks up. But for those of you who don't know, Lisa Nowak was the astronaut who, she's going to be most famously known for being the crazy lady.
Not being an astronaut.
That had diapers on to drive all the way across country to go get her man and to attempted kidnapping of this lady. She was that lady. The diaper across the country lady.
It was in 2006?
2007. And she was the one that says they found her with black latex gloves, black wig, a pistol, pepper spray, a trench coat.
It wasn't even a real pistol though, was it? Wasn't it like a BB gun or something?
It was a BB gun.
No.
But a hammer and plastic bags and everything, and the stack of diapers in her trunk, She was that lady because of the affair she's having with this guy. But
and her craziness from space.
And she thinks he's seeing someone else right now. There's so much happening, but we haven't gotten there. And
we're an hour into this movie and none of that has happened.
It's been an hour of nothing.
A lot of wah, 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 wah.
It's just, I feel like that part we could have told in 30 minutes. Yeah, it's been weird. And the cinematography to me is very odd right now. Because
I'm usually very into bizarre shot movies.
Yeah.
Like if it's something that's the music is weird or the visuals
like
are odd.
Waves, but that was good.
Yeah, but you know me, I like weird, kind of quirky designs of stuff sometimes, and I love Natalie Portman. And I thought I was going to get something kind of like a mix of, but before the crazy Earth or all the space weird stuff, I thought it was going to be more like Ad Astra or Gravity or just a kind of that weird spacey vibe on Earth, because I knew it was going to be about her and her going nuts and just trying to figure it out.
I had no idea that was even this movie because we're an hour in and nothing has happened.
I don't know. Maybe they were trying to establish this whole time it's her descent to becoming crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know because I couldn't invest into the movie.
This dog's slipping off the couch.
I'm not going to say it's a good or bad movie. I just couldn't invest in it, and I don't think it's fair to give it a good or bad rating because I haven't finished it.
I'm going to finish it.
I think what we'll do is when you finish it, we'll circle back.
I'm going to finish
when
it.
you finish
I'm
it,
determined.
because I'm not going to. Unless you say, man, the second half is amazing, then I maybe go. But if you finish it, then we'll circle back to it on the next show, and you can tell us what you think of the movie as a whole.
It's just
because the first half could be this really bizarre, and the second half bring it all together. And you didn't understand why they were doing in the first half what they did.
I mean, if you've seen the movie and it's amazing and you love it, tell me because we're not there yet.
Tell her because I'm done. All right.
Anyways, just wanted to talk about that because we did watch that.
Let's talk about a movie.
Let's talk
about a movie that we did watch from beginning to end.
What's that?
We dived into another Disney Plus film called Togo.
Oh, Togo.
If you don't know Togo,
shame on you.
Most people know the story of Balto. Balto had a couple animated films. I think there's some live action films of Balto. The real story, if you don't even know the story of Balto, I think, was it in the 20s?
I think so.
Something like that.
Hold on. I'm here.
But it's a story of this town that gets, what's the disease they had? The what is it? Theria? What is it? Dysteria? No. Anyway, this town comes down with like a plague type disease. And it's not a plague, but dysteria? Is that what it is?
Dysentery.
Dysentery. No. Is it?
I think.
I don't think it's dysentery.
Isn't dysentery the poop disease?
I think so. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Dementia.
It's this old town.
It was in 1925.
Yeah, and it was this disease had spread through this town.
All the kids are sick.
And the kids were sick. And so it's this famous run of this man and his sled dogs that went to get the medicine for these people. Mm-hmm. And there was only one guy they thought could do it. And in the movie, it's played by Willem Dafoe, not William, it's Willem. Willem Dafoe, who I love. I know you don't normally like him that much.
I don't, but I did like the green guy in this one.
The green guy?
Green Goblin.
Oh, dear God. But anyway, this story is usually told more often than not about Balto, because Balto got all the credit, because Balto made the last, 50-mile run and brought the serum to the town.
Diphtheria?
Yeah. Okay. Well, you said dysentery.
I know.
He brought this isn't really a spoiler, this is history. But Balto was the one that brought the
last leg.
Yeah, so when the reporters and stuff covered it, they covered that driver, they covered Balto who led it, and that's who got the credit, even though Togo and his runner and them, they did like 200 and something miles.
They did 600.
Was it 600?
I thought it was 600.
It was 200 and something miles.
No, was it 260?
I don't think it was 600. Hold on.
This is important.
You don't even know.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I'm gonna find out. Don't.
one of them ran a long way and the other one didn't.
Yeah.
What happened is they basically ended up going relaying it because they knew with the storms and everything else there's no way they could survive making that run. And if you just do Wikipedia and type in
That's
Togo,
where I was.
but you're on the movie.
I was
though,
on
not
Wikipedia.
the actual story of Togo.
I'm looking. Don't worry.
Go to Wikipedia and talk
I'm
about
Googling.
Togo. Don't be dumb.
250 miles. And
What did I say?
everyone else only did about 30
What
miles.
did I say?
200.
I said 200 something miles.
Fine.
Anyway, but so they were trying to do a relay thinking these dogs are going to be exhausted. This man's going to be sick and exhausted. So let's help him out, make it short for everybody. By the time they did that, he'd already
taken off.
He'd
by the time they came up
basically
with the
done what?
plan.
Almost all the way there, just about.
Well, these people, it's in the 20s. So first of all, there is a railroad, but not really, not that far in.
They're in Alaska.
They're in Alaska.
Yeah, so
they're trying to get across Alaska.
Yeah, they had to go across water, and they were talking about there's a whole thing where they're like, well, they go this way around it, and his wife is like, no, if that lake or whatever it is frozen, he's going across it. He's not going to take 90 miles. And then they're like,
well, maybe we can get a plane. Well, the plane couldn't fly in the blizzard.
Yeah, so anyway.
So they sled dogs.
So Balto got all the credit, all the history, and then he's the one that got the statues, and he's the one that got the movies, and he's the one that got all the news stories, and they took him on tour. Balto's also the one that has his actual body is actually stuffed at a museum.
And he has a statue in New York.
Everything is Balto. In reality, Togo is the one that did the thing. So this movie is about Togo's story. Balto is, in fact, in the movie, which I didn't expect. So that was kind of a cool addition.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't normally like Willem Dafoe.
No.
You didn't know the story of Balto either.
I didn't even know about Balto.
Surprised.
I didn't know any of this.
Balto is a big animated movie that came out some time back. It kind of got lost in the shuffle because I think it came out around the same time of a Disney movie.
Yeah.
But so she was a little hesitant to want to watch this movie because.
Well, then I was like, if it's about dogs, since something bad happens to a dog, I don't want to see it.
Right.
I can't go.
So we already went through some other family stuff in the house with our.
Yes, we lost someone during the holidays. So.
Well, we might as well tell them because we talked about her on the show. She's been on the show.
My BFF Anya Marie, who's
our little kitty,
a little black cat.
That we've talked about before that she was the cancer survivor. She'd walk across our table or whatever. But
yeah.
Are you going to start crying on the show?
Yeah, I'm going to cry.
This is good for ratings.
She had to go to cat heaven.
Yeah, so she passed away. So
right before Christmas.
Yeah. So this was a little hard for us to start watching this, but we did.
So it's okay. The good thing is during the movie, all the animals sat with me when we were watching the movie. So thank you to my dog and my other cat for making me feel good.
So what did you think of this movie? We have different perspectives because I knew that.
I didn't know anything. I don't know anything about dog sleds and these people in Alaska. I had no idea this was even happening. So to me, it was an amazing adventure story, but also about the bond about men and their dogs or humans and their animals. I mean, it's a real thing.
Well, it's funny because with these things, with dog sled teams, a lot of times it's about business. It's about structure. It's like they're attached to their dogs, but the dogs are part of the business. They're tools. Yeah. They're not pets.
Yeah.
And so there was an interesting dynamic in the movie about, no, that we can't play with this dog. Stop being nice. They weren't abusive, but it was like.
Yeah, but he's like, it's not a pet.
Yeah, they're respected. They're workers.
Yeah, they're sled dogs. Yeah. They're not pets. So dogs do not come in the house. They live in the barn with the other dogs. You know, there are rules to this. And this dog, Togo.
And they're very well, just so you know, they're very well cared for. They're respected. But it's treated as a business. It's like they work for you.
Yeah, they're your workers. So there's two things. Togo himself was like the runt of the litter,
and
didn't think he was even going to make it.
Which that's what I liked about the movie is I thought it was going to be from the trailer because I'd watched the trailer a couple times. I thought it was going to be lead up the story of Togo coming up and then go into the adventure, whatever.
Yeah.
It's got the adventure, and as the adventure's happening, it's flashing back and telling the story of Togo.
Yeah, like he didn't even want to let him live.
He tried to give him away twice.
Yeah. First he's like, we shouldn't let him live. It's not right. He's not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
So then there's that. But then, he tried to give him away.
Because he was born sickly, right?
He was born sick, and he was a runt, and he didn't grow to full size. And then he's like, well, you know what? He's only going to be good for a pet. He can't run a sled. So he tried to give him away, and both times the dog ran away and found his way back home.
Yeah.
And
he would always get out of the pens to chase after the dog sled. Like, because on the off
He
season,
wanted to be on the sled.
on the off season when it's not snowing, they have like little carts with wheels, and that's how he trains the dogs and practices and everything else. And so the dog would take off running and catch up with them no matter where they were at, and it would drive him nuts until he realized that this dog wasn't just a dog sled dog. It was like a lead dog that needed to be part of this pack. And
yeah.
And so these aren't really spoilers. This is just history, really.
Yeah.
But so what did you, as someone who's not a fan, because I love Willem Dafoe.
Yes.
I love everything Willem Dafoe does.
Oh, he did such a good movie in this. He was very like compassionate and just emotional with the dog.
You're just used to him being this evil villain.
I am.
And doing these.
Yeah, no, this was
Which
such
I
a
think
great
you're supposed
movie.
to be sending me the
And I like the lady that. Oh yeah, I like the lady, his wife. I love
Is that
her.
Rebecca Ferguson? No.
No, it's Juliana Nicholson.
Look how that. What is she in? Because I couldn't remember. She's super freckly.
Yeah, no, she's beautiful.
And I know her from something. I just can't remember from what.
She was in another show.
I'm aware of that. Did she play? Oh, she played what's her face in I, Tonya. She played the other one, didn't Nancy Kerrigan?
Nancy Kerrigan.
That's probably not what I'm thinking about, though.
No.
Hold on, I want to know.
It's like Tonya. It might be.
Stop going so fast. Scroll back up.
Boardwalk Empire.
Masters of Sex.
Boardwalk Empire for you.
She's on that. She's in Masters of Sex. She's also on the Red Road too. That Disney
Okay.
was. Okay.
There you go. That's
Sorry.
why we know her. She's
I think
so
recently
pretty.
though, seeing her as Nancy Kerrigan in the I, Tonya
she's
movie.
pretty. I like her. Anyways, the other thing I liked about this story is we get a little bit into the history of Alaska and its people. And the people that came there obviously are crazy people. Who wants to go live in Alaska unless you're a native? But it's interesting. These people, they were adventurers. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he was from wherever. Where was he from? Like, his wife was from Belgium, and he was from somewhere else. And, you know, the natives that are there. And it's just crazy. Like, who would go live in Alaska? But that's what they wanted to do. And I like that the compassion of everyone for the dogs. Everyone had such respect for these sled dogs. Like, all of them. It wasn't just his dogs. It was everybody that had a sled team. They treated them so well. And there were like little station houses throughout the mountains for them to come and rest. And there was this one scene with the native lady where she's like taking care of the dog and rubbing his little feet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is so cute. I'm like, I'm gonna cry. Let me rub your feet, dog. So, I mean,
He just looks at her like, what's wrong with you?
like, why are you touching me? He doesn't like when I touch his feet, but he's letting me. No, he's not.
He has these little funny little hair tufts out of the bottom of his feet. That's hilarious.
Anyway, so it's such a good movie. You guys need to watch it.
And it's one of those. It's funny. You wouldn't think you'd be as heartbroken. Like you get heartbroken about a dog in a movie that dies and that kind of stuff, obviously. But it's heartbreaking. Like when they show the end of it and it's talking about these dogs did this and this is when this and it says and that there was a statue erected in memorial and you're all like, and then it says of Balto. And so you just realize you watched a 2-hour movie of a dog that was never because Balto went on to star in Hollywood movies.
Yeah, well, Balto also bogarted. He wasn't the only lead dog on his team. It was Balto and Fox.
Yeah,
but the guy's like, we're not going to print Fox. People will think that he's dangerous.
Yeah, they just like his
name. They just made
more.
Up a story. It's whatever.
So.
Anywho.
But it was interesting because even the guy didn't seem to mind so much that the guy didn't get credit.
He didn't care.
Because he was like, this dog, he didn't he say that Balto ended up siring.
Yeah, he had like a lot of
everybody
litters,
wanted to buy dogs
from him because they wanted some Balto babies.
They all wanted Togo babies.
Everyone, yeah, Togo had
care about
litters.
Balto babies.
Togo had some litters, not him personally, but he was the papa to some baby pups, and people were coming from all
over the world to get them.
Mm-hmm. So
anyway, so Togo is a Disney Plus movie, so you don't have to go to the theater to find it. If you have Disney Plus, you can watch it anytime you want, numerous times. It is a great little movie, and yes. At the end, it shows a real picture of the guy and his dog Togo,
and he's holding his dog.
He's holding him on his shoulder. Yeah,
it's so good. Anyways, you need to watch this movie. Don't forget, Disney Plus is only what, $4.99 a month?
$7 a month, $8 a month. Yeah,
whatever.
$6.99, $7.99 or something like that.
And if you have Verizon Unlimited,
they're not offering that anymore.
No,
Daniel missed it too. He didn't get it because
we got it for free this first year because we have Verizon.
Yeah, but it's still only $8 a month.
Here's freaking Balto statues.
And speaking of which, I wanted to talk about that really quick, in case some people were getting upset because a bunch of movies rotated out. They were talking about like Home Alone 1 and 2 or whatever were on there. All of a sudden, were gone, and some other movies just unceremoniously disappeared. And they were like, "What is Disney Plus doing? They're already rotating stuff out. It's only been around since November." What happened when they just had popped up and had a spokesperson spoke? There was a lot of these that were part of the Fox deal that already had license agreements with other places, so they had to go back and pull everything down that they didn't know were licensed to something else, and they'll return once those license agreements expire. So like that's what happened with, if you look at Disney Plus and you wonder why The Last Jedi and Solo weren't on there when it first launched, it was because they were both started through Netflix. So Last Jedi is now on there. Solo won't be on there until I think July.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's part of the Netflix deal.
That's why we were trying to watch all the movies, and we're like, wait, we got to go find the
I wouldn't be surprised that when the Marvel deal ends officially, that all those Marvel shows end up on Disney Plus.
Yeah, probably.
So
okay, we can go see Togo's body too.
Where's it at?
He is at the dog sled race headquarters in Wasilla, Alaska. Let's go to Alaska.
They have him stuffed there as well?
They have him stuffed. And
I'd like to see Balto as well.
Balto's at the Cleveland Natural History
He's in just
Museum.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
But
it says he lived out his final days at the Cleveland Zoo. That's bizarre.
Togo?
Balto.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I read an article that said that he bounced around, and I think at one point he was in some abusive place.
Oh, no.
I don't know if he was abused, but this place that they got shut down. And then he ended up living at the zoo like the last of his days or something.
Well, let's go to Alaska.
So anyway,
you want to go
Togo,
to Alaska with me?
It's a great movie. It's a fun adventure. It's got some laughs. It's got tons of heart. Edge of your seat adventure.
And it's appropriate.
Like she was stressing.
children.
She was stressing a little bit on some of the stuff.
Some of it is amazing. And there's one part where that one guy is telling him, I didn't think anybody could do it, especially when I saw this. And he's like, this is a miracle, which it was. It was amazing. Oh my gosh, it's a harrowing adventure.
It is. It's a family movie too.
It is
so
movie.
it reminded me of old Disney.
I love those movies.
You know, it reminded me of like all those old Disney movies that would come out that sometimes they were silly and cheesy, but sometimes they were just wacky adventures and
there you go.
You know, the Apple Dumpling Gang and stuff like that would come out that were just Disney
gonna
movies that were like normal stories that anybody can
over.
watch. It wasn't necessarily a cartoon. It wasn't necessarily.
Yeah, no, it was good movies.
This is one is for all ages, but it can be a little scary at times because of the darkness and the craziness and whatnot, but not like in a bad way.
It's such a good movie. Please watch it.
Togo. All right, so moving on. So what we want to do really quick, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but as we mentioned, we watched two movies, one each, of one movie.
We ended up watching two.
Well, we watched two, but we watched them together, back to back. Last night.
Woo!
One was from her list. One was from my best of list of 2019.
Yes,
so neither one of us had seen either or movie, and we have not discussed it as of yet. So would you like to talk about yours first or my first?
Let's talk about yours. That was the order in which they were.
Okay, so if you were here for our list, one of my favorite movies of the year was this movie called The Art of Self-Defense. Now, I wanted her to watch this for two reasons. One, I wanted her opinion of the movie, see what she thought about it. Two, because my dad was a fan of this movie.
I have more thoughts about that.
And my dad doesn't like anything, or at least doesn't act like he likes anything.
He's like, that's all right.
So it baffled me when he told me he enjoyed this movie, especially if you know how dark and quirky it is. So, without further ado, before you say anything, I want to know, because she has yet to tell me, what did you think of the movie?
Overall, it was okay. I thought the first part was just kind of dull. I don't know if it was because it's character build up or what it is, but it was just not intriguing to me. But then later on, it actually picks up. There's some twists and turns, some reveals, and you're like, what? But I guess I don't think it was as funny as you did. I mean, there were things you were laughing at.
And it's not a movie I found hilarious.
It's not funny.
There's weird stuff that I find
quirky, weird
laughing. It makes me laugh because it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a dark comedy.
Yeah.
But it's heavy on some
It wasn't bad, but it was just okay to me. I guess I don't get what you get. And I guess I have a few questions.
Okay.
So at the beginning.
Can you say without spoiling anything?
Yeah, at the beginning, it's all kind of slow. We're just learning about this kid. How were you not bored at that? Because you get bored easy sometimes.
Because I found his awkwardness and his struggle to deal with life engaging.
See, and I guess that's what I don't
because
like.
he was
I don't like what we talked about. I don't like things that are just life.
Well, I also found that he's clearly was somebody that might be on the spectrum. It's not mentioned, and he may not have been. He could have just been
super awkward, introverted.
And I liked the idea, and I thought he carried it perfectly. He lives this mundane, simple life because he doesn't have that gene in him or that drive in him to do anything more than his content boringness of life.
But that's where I'm thinking at the beginning, that's where it probably drew your dad in, because your dad is okay with like slow, methodically paced movies.
See, and he's really not.
But he is. Like, he liked that Jesus movie that's slow and boring.
That's because Jesus is in it.
But Jesus wasn't in it.
But no, I'm telling the mentality of Jesus in it. Jesus is not in any of these movies. You want to get technical.
But I think also the satirical element, I don't know what the word is, of taking the karate school idea and twisting it into a strange way is probably intriguing to both of you.
Well, here's something I think I wrote in my review. I don't remember, but I know I talked about it. I mentioned it to somebody. Part of what sucks me into this whole movie and makes me relate to it is there are a lot of elements in that movie that were the way my classes were when I came up. They were very brutal and rough and angry, and the things if you watch today would probably be classified as abusive.
Yeah.
But that's how it was. And there's also elements in this movie that were nothing like any class we had.
There are some crazy
like
things.
Their cool down moments. Our cool down moments were nothing like the cool down moments in this movie.
I'm still baffled by that one guy.
There's a scene. This isn't a spoiler. There's a scene where they says, "Okay, it's the end of class. Let's everybody cool down." It's the night class, is what they classify it as. Night class is clearly advanced class.
Advanced class.
And everybody just starts taking their clothes off, and most everybody just strips down to their underwear. And they start stretching each other. It's all dudes. You know, the Imogen Pooch who's in the movie, she goes to a different place. So it's not a weird sexual thing of inappropriate with women or anything, but it could be inappropriate with the guys because they're stretching each other, and it's not made to look sexual, but it comes off that way.
Yeah.
But there's one guy that has no underwear on, so he takes his pants off and he's just free balling it. And she's like, "What is wrong with this guy?
Why? Where do you put your cup?"
Well, you notice none of them wearing a cup.
Well, they need to.
But when I saw it in the theater, I was dying laughing at that scene.
Did anybody else laugh?
No, and but it was because
I'm baffled.
I heard some gasps because
Lord.
when he said "cool down" and I saw people taking their belts off, I'm like, "Oh Lord, what is about to happen?" And when that guy pulled his balls to the wall, flopped out, I just went. I think I turned to you. I went, "Oh Lord."
So crazy.
But
no, I wasn't there, babe. I didn't see it.
I know you were. I said right like now? You, loud, like I was
yeah,
loud like you.
Because I do.
But I think there was that element of one. I like real life weirdness. I like quirky stories. I like characters make you uncomfortable. But I also like. I also connect with a lot of the stuff in the movie. It's a mixture of old school martial arts and all the things that are wrong with a lot of martial arts, all in the same school.
Yeah.
So
it's a conundrum of that. So once we get through the first and things start happening, like I think once he makes it to night class and things start happening, then it picks up.
And I love all the early class stuff and his interactions with people and discussion.
It's just too awkward.
And then my favorite line, which I posted, if y'all saw it, you'll now know why I posted it. When he's like, "You must learn to punch with your feet and kick with your fists."
Lord. And then the thing I didn't like was like. He says that one lady has to teach the kid class because she's a woman.
Yeah, well, that was the whole thing. It was
I was like, really? He's one of those instructors.
Yes, there's a very moment there.
We've had those.
There's a very male. This is full of male toxicity
dude
thing in the movie too. That's not why I connect with it because that's a whole other side element to the story.
Well, that's though how some old school classes are.
Oh, very much so.
Sometimes women couldn't even join. So.
Well, and there's some like that y'all went through that. While I understood the instructor, the way he would stop process, that he would always separate the men and the women, and it used to drive y'all nuts.
It doesn't bother me.
I know, but it would drive y'all crazy because he clearly mixed them, not because he didn't think women were strong enough to do martial arts, because he had a lot of women black belts, but it was because he had an old school mentality that women work differently than men.
They
the
do.
Strength level are different. And these are factual. But they can still work together.
Yeah.
Right?
I do think we probably learn differently.
Well, and one of the things, if you pay attention to what he was teaching, I know we had a couple of our black belts that got super offended by it because they're more feminist and they're more, well, why am I being separate? Why am I being separate as a woman? And I totally get it because it is, he doesn't explain why he does it. Yeah. So it comes off, you're a girl, go over there. You're a guy, go over here. Boy and girls like it was when we were kids.
I'm hearing.
I'm talking. That's what you're hearing. Anyway, sorry. But in the real life, if you look at like his comments that he would make, if you looked at your comments on a sheet of grading and my comments,
yeah,
it talks about, okay, you're trying to be too much of a man, and you're trying to put all this power because you're trying to show all your muscles and your strength.
Yeah, they do. They say the same thing.
And the women
so
needed to find more power, but they had all the finesse.
Yeah.
So it was really about two different ways these people needed to practice doing complete opposite things.
Yeah.
You know, and that's factual. It's very rare that I have a female person that's super powerful and I have a guy that's super graceful. And we got to find their balance and put them together in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so what is your other thoughts? You said you might have had a couple more thoughts on my dad liking that, or was that?
I think that's what it was. I think he does like slow movies, babe. He's
my dad's favorite movie. Do you know what my dad's favorite movie used to be?
What?
This is prior to his finding religion.
Oh, you told me it was Porky's.
Porky's. My dad, American Pie and Porky's. My dad loved those movies. Watched them all the time. That's when I saw The Last Dragon, because they went and saw, I think it was Porky's 2 at the theater, and we weren't old enough to see it. So I picked The Last Dragon, not knowing what it was. And I came out of it in love, vanity,
oh, Lord,
and Timac.
All right. It was fine. It was okay.
It's not okay.
I wouldn't have put it in my top 10, but I think you connected on a more personal level than I did. There is some really good twists and stuff later towards the end, and you're like, what? I looked at him like, what?
I had figured it out way earlier in the movie.
I didn't.
And I assumed you had already figured it out.
I'm dumb.
And when you went, what? I'm like, that's why I went, seriously?
I didn't get it.
I was like, I figured out.
I had no idea. But then all the other stuff you find out, like, I'm like, what?
And there's a clever writing aspect, and I'm not going to say it. I don't want to spoil the aspect for people to watch it. But going by that funny line that I said earlier about the kicking with your feet and punching with your fist.
It's important.
Punching with your whatever.
Kicking
with your fist and punching with your feet. There's a line later where somebody is assaulted, we'll just say, and they asked the doctor about it. And he goes, well, it's very weird.
Yeah.
It looks like he was punched, but with a foot.
It's
so it's
bizarre.
Like, it's a stupid thing that makes no sense. Okay, so moving on.
Okay, next.
So what was the other movie we watched then?
The other movie that we watched this week was Booksmart.
Which was on her list.
On my list, which you never got to see. I don't know what happened.
I really wanted to see the movie. You went to the screening.
I enjoyed it.
I couldn't go to the screening, and then one thing after another kept happening. I never got to watch it.
You just never watched it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you think about Booksmart? Booksmart stars Beanie. It's her Beanie.
Fieldstein or Feldstein. She's Jonah Hill's sister.
Jonah Hill's sister. Or Jonah Hill is her brother.
And Catherine Dever?
Dever?
She's from Last Man Standing. She was on
Catherine Dever.
She was in Last Man Standing. She was also in Justified, and
she's been in a lot of stuff lately. She's in that other movie, the one where they don't believe her about the man attacking her, and then some other people are attacked. Gotta watch that. Anyways, it's a high school coming of age movie.
It's directed by Olivia Wilde, making her directorial debut.
Yes. So
and she's already directing another movie now.
What did you think about this one?
Okay. No, I actually really enjoyed the movie. Mm-hmm. I will say, I didn't find it near as funny as I hoped I would. Aww. It is very funny. Don't get me wrong.
I was cracking up again.
Yeah, it was very funny. Don't get me wrong, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it might have still made my top 10. Or at least within the honorable mention group.
Yeah.
Because it is an excellent, excellent movie. It's hilarious. I think from all the stuff that I had heard about it, the red band trailers, the regular trailers, all the laughs that I saw on it, people post about it, I guess I expected more laughs beyond what I already knew was coming. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't for me. What made up for that was it did have that. It was pretty much felt like just Superbad with two young girls.
Maybe. Yeah, kind
of. Not the same personalities and stuff, but I like just watching their friendship, even though there's the cliche moments of, them not getting along and breaking up and coming back together and all the normal things you go with those kind of movies. I like that it felt more like a real life teenagers. Now, my biggest issue with this movie is what? I have a major issue with this movie.
What do you think? You couldn't hear him.
No. Well, they're a little mumbly, but no, that's more my own personal problem.
The female empowerment.
No, I'm fine with all that.
What?
There are no teachers in this school.
Oh, Lord.
They're running around. They're blowing up stuff in the hallway, and they're celebrating. Look, I remember going to school, and as soon as somebody got some teacher on there, hey!
I don't know.
I don't know. There's just chaos reigning.
It was chaos, but I just loved this movie.
It's a fun movie.
I feel like it's a more modern coming of age story for right now. And I like that our central characters are like these nerdy girls trying to get to the party at the end of the year.
Well, I think what made it look to me made it work more than it probably would have, and got it out of the standard cliched teen comedy, was one, you're dealing with one person's dealing with their sexuality, and the other one's just trying to find someone that would like them at all. But their best friends was one, they don't force it into, oh, they're going to find each other at the end, which is where a lot of these shows like to go. This whole time they were right in front of your face.
Yeah.
It's there, but in a different way, of not with them too, which is good. But I also like that the teachers had more of an involvement from a standpoint of like, because they were like honor roll type kids, and they were the ones that were going to be successful. They're the ones that always played by the rules. All the teachers knew them and liked them.
Yeah.
So when you come to one thing, they're like, where are they? Why are they not here? The other one's like, go have fun. Come on, do something. I'll take you. You know,
like the teachers are wanting them to have fun.
they're wanting them to get out and do something because they know they don't.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a nice, fun element. And I thought Olivia Wilde did an awesome job directing.
Yeah,
so.
I like it. This obviously it's one of my top 10s, and I loved it from the moment I saw it. And I thought it was hilarious.
I think my only issue with it is that I just took too long to see it.
Yeah.
I think had I seen it, had I saw it when it first came out, I think I would have loved it more. I loved it. It was a great movie, but I think I would have loved it more.
I like too that they're like true friends that just really love and support each other, and they're like, "Oh, girl, and they're like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, because there's those stupid moments where they're both wearing this outfit, and you first think they're about to insult each other. They're like, "What are you wearing? Why are you wearing that? Can you believe? Because you look fascinating. Oh, you're gorgeous. Oh my God, you're too much." And it's
I think we all need that one friend though that lifts us up. And you were telling me that's how me and my friend.
Me and my best friend were like that, but it was insults. We see each other and it'd be like, "Oh, you're stupid as hell. Shut up, fool." You know, it was the same.
But it was that same
dynamic.
Yeah. So.
And it's still that way. We see each other on the phone. We start cussing each other out. And it's nothing but. Love. It's essentially saying hello to each other.
It's love. It's full of love.
And now that we're adults and my kids are grown and his kid is still elementary school or middle school, whatever she's in now, we only talk every few months or every few weeks. But we had lunch during the, I think Thanksgiving break. Was it during Thanksgiving? I think it was Thanksgiving break. And it's like we see each other and we just get together, the insults fly, and then we talk about whatever, and then the insults fly, and then we go on our way.
Yeah, so I love it. Check it out. Booksmart. It's available now everywhere, so go find it.
Everywhere. Books.
It's actually on Hulu for free, so just go watch it.
All right, so let's jump into something we didn't do last year, but we're gonna do it this year.
I'm excited.
We're gonna kind of zoom through kind of quickly. We're not gonna do a big talk about why we love these movies necessarily, unless it just hits you.
Yeah.
So what I did is I pulled up the movies. None of these are foreign films. These are going to be only the. What are you doing?
I'm getting ready for the next thing.
I already have a list.
Okay, but I'm not doing that. I'm doing my next segment in a minute. You just.
Okay, you're talking about for next week?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not used to you trying to be prepared. Okay, so we're going to go through. We're going to zoom through the year of 2020 real fast and what movies are coming out. Now, I will say that some of these on the list may or may not come out this year because some of them. No, it's because some of them were announced, but I haven't heard much if the production's even happening, if it's still maybe happening. So I'm going to try to skip over some of those, but we'll still talk about the fact that they're existing.
Okay, they exist.
So we're going to zoom through January because we're already in January. We've missed some of the ones like this week. The Grudge came out. We were planning to see it. We're going to probably try to see it this week.
We got to do a little Grudge marathon.
Yeah, so we wanted to watch the originals, and then we'll talk about the other one. Next week is going to be a big week. I'll let you talk about that in a few minutes. So I'm going to just skip over the 10th altogether. This month we still have Doolittle coming out. I think I'm excited to see it just because I like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
The movie itself is going to be one of those.
It looks a little quirky to me.
Yeah, it's either going to work or not. We got Bad Boys for Life, which I'm super excited for.
Boys.
Those are two of my favorite.
I got to watch the other ones.
Action
movies. Be prepared.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. We have this movie called The Last Full Measure coming out. That's got Sebastian Stan and Samuel L. Jackson. So probably basically it's like a war drama kind of thing. We have this movie called The Turning. You saw that trailer, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is the one that's
kind of a horror supernatural.
Yeah, it's a adaptation of, I think it's an 1800s. Was it 1898 ghost story, The Turn of the Screw. So we have that coming out this month.
Then? I love
I think so. We saw the trailer for it when we saw Black Christmas.
Okay.
That's one with that house with those kids and stuff.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
We also have
there.
this movie called The Gentleman, which I'm kind of excited to see it. It's a Guy Ritchie movie. Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam, Henry Golding, Colin Farrell, Hugh Grant.
There's a bunch of man meat.
Yeah, so it's one of these kind of.
Sorry, I'm not sexualizing you. You're
it's another one of those like English crime
Love
things. What is Run? I don't remember if I know that one. That's got the lady you hate in it, Sarah Paulson. We'll skip that
Sarah
one.
Paulson.
The rhythm section, I think, has potential to be really good. That's the one with Blake Lively where she's going trying to find out who killed her husband.
Yes.
It's one of those that's either going to be really good or it's going to flop.
Yeah. So I think she can do it, though. She seems good.
I don't think it's going to be based on her performance. It's going to be based on the structure of that story because it's her and who's it? Guy Pearce? No, Jude Law.
Love
Jude Law and Sterling K. Brown. And
love him, too.
Then the last one for the month is Gretel and Hansel.
Or Hansel and Gretel.
Which I think, no, it's called Gretel and Hansel.
I know.
Which I think could be a really great horror film if they do it right.
It looks good from the trailer, but I hope that's not all the good stuff.
Yeah, right. So that's the month of January, and that's not counting any Netflix movies or Blu-ray, DVD, straight to stuff that we may talk about. February, we get a bunch of other new stuff. We get the Birds of Prey movie. It's actually called The Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn. Or of one Harley Quinn, sorry.
Looks a little chaotic to me.
That's one of those that I hate the Harley Quinn character, but I like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I don't know if I like that they have Cassandra Cain, they have Huntress, they have Black Canary, and none of them look like the character is supposed to. They got Black Mask played by Ewan McGregor. They got Victor Zsasz in there, but he's got hair and he's not bald. There's a lot of things in this movie that are
throwing you.
Yeah, messing with my brain that I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to give it a chance because it is a comic book movie, so I'll watch anyway.
Okay.
The Lodge is another one of those. I posted a trailer for some comeback. It looks interesting. It's a horror film. Sonic the Hedgehog, I only want to see it now because Jim Carrey's in it.
Yeah.
And it looks like old school Jim Carrey.
Well, it looks like they fixed the design.
Yeah, they went back and fixed it, which I think was a horrible misstep on their part. One, I think they shouldn't have made it wrong in the first place.
Yeah.
But I think it was horribly bad that they went back and fixed it because now it set a bad precedent in Hollywood. If the fans complain enough, spend more money, and then they don't. Because now of all these fans that complained, they better go see it.
Yeah.
Because if they don't go see it now, this is just going to show you don't bother listening to them.
Yeah.
So, what I am looking forward to, that one I didn't know was happening until we saw the trailer, is Fantasy Island.
Yes, that actually looks like a good spin
that
on
movie,
it.
The idea of saying a movie about Fantasy Island sounds stupid, but it's a horror spin on it.
That show.
It's got Michael Pena as
the plane.
No, he's not playing him. He's playing Ricardo Montalban's character. I don't think we're gonna get a little man. So Fantasy Island, it's a horror film. It looks awesome.
It's an interesting way to go.
Yeah,
very intriguing.
Bouncing around. So I'm only gonna talk about the ones we know about because I don't want to have to dig into every single thing. We got The Call of the Wild, which is one that I think looks interesting. Yeah, The Call of the Wild. It's Harrison Ford, and it's him and the dog running around. The dog is CGI. It looks like in most of it. So for the adventure aspects, but it's Dan Stevens, Karen Gillan, Bradley Whitford from the Perfect Harmony show. The movie looks like it could be a good adventure movie, very like Togo type thing. But I don't know how I feel about the dog stuff in the pre-trailers. So I'll show you the trailer and let you know what you think. Like. One of the big ones for us this year, Impractical Jokers, the movie. That's right.
I love that.
We're huge Impractical Jokers fans.
Fun.
She's late to the party. I've been a fan from day one. I've seen them live. They have a movie coming out very much like Jackass and those kind of movies, but doing their show. So that's coming out. I'm super stoked. I'm also super stoked for The Invisible Man.
Oh, with what's her name?
Yeah, which is directed by Leigh
Whannell,
who is starred in the Saw movies, but he's in the Insidious movies, but he directed Insidious 3. He directed Upgrade.
That looks so intriguing.
Yeah, he directed Upgrade.
Yes.
And so he's now directing this, and it's got
happy for you.
It's got your Elizabeth Moss in it. But it's interesting twist on the whole Invisible Man story. And we're getting this movie because of the failure of The Mummy. Because when that Tom Cruise Mummy movie came out, they were building what they called the Dark, was it Universal Dark or something like that? They were trying to make a monster universe similar to the Marvel universe, but with the old monsters like back in the day.
Yeah.
The Mummy was supposed to launch. Well, originally Dracula Untold, or I think it was, that Dracula movie that came out.
Yeah.
Talking about with Luke Evans.
Yes.
And then it ended at the diner in the present day.
Yes.
That was originally supposed to be the beginning of the Universal Monster thing. It bombed, so they retooled it. They made announcements where they were making this mummy movie with Tom Cruise. You had Russell Crowe playing Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in that movie.
Yep.
They had already announced that Johnny Depp was playing the Invisible Man. I forgot everybody. They had this whole thing laid out. The Mummy movie didn't do well, so they scrapped it. So they went back and.
But this is such a creative idea.
Lee Whannell got
excited
involved, and I think Blumhouse got over it and helped. So it's separate from that original plan. It's a whole new movie. Yeah,
so intriguing.
So let's see. Jumping into March, we have our first Disney Pixar movie of the year with Onward, which I'm super excited for. That's the one about the elves and the fairies and the Looking for the Dad and the unicorns that are all trash animals.
Yeah.
There's a movie called The Way Back, which is Ben Affleck. And it's the one about he's a coach.
Yeah.
He's basically like a coach or something like that. He's got an alcohol problem.
Yeah.
And he's trying to find his way back. What is First Cow? What was that? It doesn't tell me. So I'm going to move on. Another one I'm kind of intrigued by. I'm not fully sold on it yet. Is Bloodshot. It's coming out with Vin Diesel. It's based on the Valiant comic book character Bloodshot. They've already had a live action Bloodshot in Bat in the Sky Productions made a kind of a online web series. It was Ninjak Kills versus the Valiant Universe, and they had Jason David Frank who played the Green Power Ranger. He played Bloodshot in that. Vin Diesel is playing Bloodshot in this. It's got a guy who's super enhanced nanobite technology, and so he can get shot and blown up and put back together and keeps fighting.
Oh, I remember this. They keep putting him back.
Yeah, where he gets shot in the head.
But he's starting to remember.
Yeah, and they just relaunched the comic, which is the new comic is really good. And the only reason I'm not a Valiant fan, but I'm reading because one of my favorite artists, Brett Booth, is drawing it. So I started reading it, so I'm kind of getting involved. What else we got? I don't care about this movie. This may be one you want to watch. This movie, I Still Believe.
What is it?
It's another one of these religious ones. It's a true story. It's another one kind of like that. It's based on the life of the songwriter Jeremy Camp and his first wife, who was diagnosed with cancer. It's about the guy that sings the song "I Still Believe." It's a Christian type movie. It's that story. So the movie itself is very much like that other one.
Yeah.
But the guy that sings whatever about his dad or whatever it is.
That was a good. So I liked it. I mean,
it might be good. I know.
It's me. That'll call me.
Another one that I'm a little worried about because it got delayed. It was supposed to come out last year. Was My Spy, which is the one with Dave Bautista and the little girl and the.
Yes.
It looks like it could be funny.
Like, where has that been? They've been announcing that forever.
It got delayed, and I love Bautista, and he seems like such a nice guy. And I've actually kind of exchanged conversations with him on Twitter a couple of times years ago in relation to Riddick, and so I want the movie to do great. So I'm interested to see it. I don't know what that one is. Of course, A Quiet Place Part 2, which looks like from the new trailer, which you still haven't watched.
I haven't watched it yet.
Looks like more of a new straight up monster movie this time around than the other one. Makes me look cool. Makes me look cool. The Disney movie I'm most excited for the first time ever is Mulan.
Yes. It looks so good.
Forget the fact that it's an epic Asian wushu cinema thing. You also got Jet Li and Donnie Yen back in a Disney movie, and you might say, why are they both? What do you mean back? Donnie Yen was in Star Wars Rogue One, so he was in his Disney movie.
There you go. It counts.
I don't know what that one is. We're going to move on from that. I'm skipping over a few just so we can keep going real quick. April, I don't know if you're fans, but we got Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway. The first one ended up being more entertaining than I expected it to be. We're also getting, finally, The New Mutants, which everybody assumed was getting shelved. There was talk that it might just show up as a Hulu original movie. It was supposed to come out last year in February, and it got bumped. And with the Disney, it was part of the Fox stuff. When the Disney-Fox merger happened, everybody's like, we will never see New Mutants. Well, supposedly, I think this week we're supposed to get an all-new trailer. They said the movie is getting released as is when it was made. So this is technically where Dark Phoenix was what everybody thought was the final X-Men movie. This is technically the final Fox mutant movie. It's not directly connected to those, at least to my knowledge, but it's about the New Mutants, Wolfsbane, and all these other characters, and it's a darker horror twist.
I don't know anything about them, so I'm going to learn something.
Fatherhood, which we haven't got trailers for that one, but that's the newest Kevin Hart movie that has Alfre Woodard in it.
Love her.
Little Ray Howard, Howery, whatever. Paul Reiser's in it.
Paul Reiser's making a little comeback.
He
The
is.
show's back on.
And
too.
he was also, I believe, the movie he was shooting when he had his car accident. So I wouldn't be
Oh.
surprised if it got delayed because I don't know when he
Okay.
finished or not. I don't know if he was finished with that movie at the time or not. We also in April are going to get the new James Bond movie, most likely the last Daniel Craig James Bond movie, No Time to Die.
And it also has our new favorite person,
Anna de Armas.
I know.
Which you still haven't seen Spectre, have you?
I don't think I did. I don't know why I didn't. I love him.
Because you never watched the last Jason Bourne movie either.
Where have I been?
This happened.
Well, we're gonna watch all of the Daniel Craig ones.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we have all of them.
We can go back to the beginning and watch. What's his name? The one that you didn't like as much.
No, because we only have
From Beautician and the Beast.
we only have two. Like, I need to go back and buy all the James Bond collections they put out.
Yeah.
I have the Pierce Brosnan collection, and I have the Daniel Craig collections. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the other ones. Trolls is making a comeback again. They're getting a sequel, Trolls World Tour. So it's coming out. The first one ended up being kind of fun.
That's where they run into the country cousins.
Well, this one they're going to run into a whole bunch of different versions. There's like heavy metal trolls, there's country trolls.
ones.
So Ozzy Osbourne's in it,
That's
and
fine.
a lot of other people. There's a movie called Monster Problems. I don't know what that is. Let's see. There's a movie called Bad Trip coming out. Again, it's not a lot known, but I heard it's like a prank show type movie. But it's Eric Andre, who I think is funny, but Tiffany Haddish and Lil Ray again. And I think that's one of those kind of like a Jackass type thing with them pulling pranks on people and doing stuff. So we'll see if that works.
Out.
So I skimmed over a few other ones. Like there's movies called Antlers, which is a horror film. Antebellum, which is another one that's kind of out there. May is the first big Marvel movie of the year. We get Black Widow, who's finally getting her own movie. And if everybody's confused how Black Widow can possibly have a movie, if I'm not mistaken, it takes place between Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Okay.
No. Yes, I believe it takes place in between the two, or between Civil War and I take it back. I think it's between Civil War and Infinity War because when they're on I believe she's on the run. I don't remember exactly the moment.
We'll find out.
Yeah. We're also getting a few Tom Hanks movies this year. We're getting one
spectacular.
One called Greyhound.
I love Tom
which
Hanks.
is this the one? I don't remember now. It doesn't say on here. I think this one where he gets like he's like a Navy colonel or general or whatever, and he gets his own ship, like an aircraft character or battleship or whatever. But he's got to convince him that he deserves to be there because he's older or whatever. I think that's what it is. I think I read about it. You're getting Dev Patel's doing a movie, The Personal History of David Copperfield, not the magician, but the writer.
Fine. I'd rather have the magician.
Also in May, we're getting an
Elizabeth Shoes and Greyhound. I'll be there.
Do what?
Elizabeth Shoes there.
I forgot to tell you she was in that.
I'll be there.
Also in May, we're getting, I guess, really the first animated Scooby-Doo movie called Scoob.
Because there's always tons of those every year.
Yeah, well, those are straight to video. This is a big screen release.
Oh, Vader.
It's just called Scoob.
Vader 2.
And it's about, if you've never seen the trailer, which I posted, it's about when Shaggy and Scooby meet when he's puppy and he's little kids. And so it's kind of their early prequel.
Nice.
There's Amy Adams has one with Gary Oldman and Anthony Mackie called The Woman in the Window. It looks like a Hitchcockian type thing. Of course, we're also going to get Fast and Furious 9 finally. So we bypass Hobbs and Shaw right back to Fast and Furious 9. Get all our favorites.
I love all those movies. I know they're probably not like award-winning films or anything with acting and stuff, but they are fun, action-packed.
Well, we're also getting one my daughter's going to be super excited for. We're getting the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. I'm excited for it. So she's excited for it. The trailer even had Keanu Reeves in it.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
I'm excited for that. So Sponge on the Run. Artemis Fowl, which is a pretty popular book, is coming live action movie. This movie is one of my most anticipated movies, not Artemis Fowl. It's a movie called The Organ Donor. It stars Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. And it is the next chapter in the Saw franchise. Chris Rock came up with a new story, and nobody knows much else about it, although except for Darren Lynn Bousman.
Chris Rock did?
Chris Rock did, and he stars in it with Samuel L. Jackson. And it's called The Organ Donor.
Oh my gosh.
And Darren Lynn Bousman, who directed some of the early chapters, I think like 2, 3, and 4, came back to direct this one as
Oh
well.
my gosh, I am so excited.
I'm super
I love
stoked.
those
And you still haven't
movies.
watched Jigsaw either.
Did I not?
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
So
I love
that's, believe it or not, you got Black Widow, you got all these movies. The Organ Donor is one of my most hyped up movies for the year. My daughter's going to lose her mind when I tell her, because she's also a super Saw fan.
This.
But yeah, it was that Jordan Peele opened the door for people.
Yeah.
Because you now got funny people doing these horror films. Because you got John Krasinski from The Office.
Yeah.
With The Quiet Place. You got Jordan Peele, who's now done Us and Get Out, and he produced and developed The Twilight Zone. You know, he's already working on some new one. Now you got Chris Rock bringing his idea.
That's awesome.
Because Chris Rock said he was a huge fan of the franchise, and he had this idea, and he went to him.
Do it, man! Come on, do it. I love it.
When I didn't know when they popped up the Organ Donor, I knew that he was making a movie about it. Right?
Yeah.
I knew they were doing it, so I assumed it would be Saw 9 or whatever it is. And when I saw the Organ Donor, I said, "What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, that's that." So they're completely changing the name.
That's good.
But it's still connected to that universe.
To the universe.
I don't know if it's going to be the same.
Do we even know if it's happening in the timeline of the because you know some
Nobody
of the others overlap.
Every one of them overlap.
Yeah.
Back and forth. Even the final one overlaps sort of.
From one of the
but
others.
Nobody knows anything about this one.
Oh, I'm so excited. I need a map of what's happening.
So we'll have to do that. That just gives me a reason to rewatch the entire Saw franchise.
Do you want to play a game?
In June, we got Wonder Woman 1984 coming out.
And is that based on a comic?
No. It's what they're doing is with all the Wonder Woman movies, they're going to be different time periods.
Oh,
so they're all standalone movies.
Different time periods.
They're not per se sequels to, like, this one is not necessarily a sequel to the first movie. It's just a different time in her life.
Here again. Okay.
So they've already talked about the third movie, which they're not going to plan yet, but if they do it, it'll probably take place in the 90s.
Okay, I got
So
you.
it'll go through her generations.
I see.
So it's just called 1984 because it's in the 80s. Then we're getting our Candyman reboot, which is also Jordan Peele.
Is Candyman in it?
Well, I don't know for sure. They say he is.
What's his name?
Tony Todd.
Yes.
They say he is. I don't know if he's playing Candyman.
That's cool. You go, Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele, I believe, is producing it. He didn't direct it, but he had a new idea. People lost their mind because originally Tony Todd wasn't involved. So I don't know. He is in it, but I don't know if he's playing Candyman. What's happening? Then we get the other Dixar. Yikes. That's when you put Disney and Pixar together. It's Dixar.
Wow.
There's another movie, Soul, which is the one about the jazz musician that
meant
falls
Disney Pixar.
Yeah. It's the one
that
about
one looks good.
Yeah, with Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey and Questlove and King of Staten Island. Pete Davidson's getting his own movie, which I'm interested in only because it's Judd Apatow. Yeah, not J.J. Abrams.
It says right there.
Then we got one movie I never thought I was going to be excited for that I'm actually excited for now.
Are you? I'm really.
The trailers look so good.
I'm just so
for Top Gun Maverick, the long anticipated sequel to Top Gun.
I think so too. I'm jaded from all of the Scientology documentaries I've been watching.
Oh, see, I don't care about
not a Tom Cruise personal fan.
Well, here's my thing: is I hated Top Gun. Hated all things Tom Cruise.
Well, you gotta kick the tires and light the fires.
Everything Tom Cruise did, but with the exception of Outsiders. From Outsiders was my love of Tom Cruise.
Yes, you loved Outsiders.
And then everything after that I hated until Jerry Maguire.
Oh.
And then everything since Jerry Maguire I've loved.
All the Mission Impossibles.
I love Mission Impossible. I love The Last Samurai. I love Jack Reachers. I've loved everything Tom Cruise since Jerry Maguire.
Except the Mummy movie.
But I hated no, I like the Mummy
I liked
movie.
It too.
But I hated Top Gun. I hated Cocktail. I hated The Color of Money. I hated what is the other one he did? Risky Business. I wasn't a big fan of. Wow. But I've grown like a new official. So when they sent me the anniversary edition of Top Gun, I rewatched it and I actually appreciated it more. As an older person who loved the movies, I'm like, okay, this actually is not a pretty good movie. Actually, I think the new one looks amazing. Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
We'll see. I'm iffy
because you don't know nothing.
Well, I got other.
Let's go ahead and jump in to July. It says here we are getting a new Minions movie.
What?
This time it's Minions: The Rise of Gru, so it sounds like we're getting an origin story of Gru as well.
Nice.
Free Guy, which trailers are blowing up all over the place, which looks fun. That's a Ryan Reynolds one video game movie.
Yes.
That looks kind of funny. The other one I'm super excited for. I'm bummed out the last one didn't do well because fans and trolls killed it. But we're getting Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh, fun.
Which, have you not seen that trailer?
No.
Oh, it is a direct sequel to the original movies. It is directed by Ivan Reitman's son. Is
the trailer on our website?
Yeah.
Hollywood Matrimony.
It's directed by Ivan Reitman's son, Jason Reitman. Ivan Reitman directed the original two.
Yeah.
Ivan Reitman produces this one.
Yeah. I remember this story about him, his son.
Yeah. It does have Paul Rudd in it.
I'm there.
It's Paul Rudd,
Paul Rudd.
Finn Wolfhard, who's in it, but also in Stranger Things. And apparently everybody from the original series is all back in some form or another, with the exception of Harold Ramis, who passed away.
Not with us.
But all the original guys are back in there
That'll
somehow.
be fun.
I'll
man.
show you the trailers for all
Yeah.
these when we get off here so you can catch up.
Okay.
The Purge 5.
Ooh, I didn't know
July.
there was another one.
This is supposed to be the final one in the series. I don't know if we're going to keep getting TV shows or not.
I love the TV shows too.
But yeah, the final.
Oh my gosh, y'all didn't even
I've heard.
understand.
I don't know yet, but I heard this 5th one is going to be about a. See if they put it in here. Nope. That they were going to supposedly talk about a heist happening during the Purge, so like a bank heist type thing.
Okay.
So.
But we kind of had that in the show.
Yeah. So I don't know what the plan is.
Hmm.
Christopher Nolan's new movie Tenet looks so good. It's another one of these time jumping arounds, very much like Minority Report, where they're doing crime before it happens, or things like this. But it's got a great cast with John David Washington, Denzel Washington's son,
Okay.
the guy from Black's Klansman and Ballers.
Yeah.
You got Robert Pattinson.
Wow.
You got Aaron Taylor
Robert
Johnson.
Pattinson is starting to do some really good things.
He's a great actor.
He
When
really
he's got a
is.
good project, but it's also got Michael Caine, Kenneth Branagh. So it looks really good if you haven't seen the trailer. This one I didn't even know was happening. I was super excited. Bob's Burgers the movie.
What?
That's what it says. Bob Burgers the movie.
That show is so funny.
So we're getting that.
I love his wife. She's my favorite.
We don't even need to
She's so
explain
crazy.
that. Jungle Cruise looked way funner than I thought it was going to.
That's a Disney ride, right?
Yeah, it's kind of starring Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt.
The Rock.
It's an adventure movie.
Yeah, it looks fun.
This one I knew they were making. I didn't know it was this year. I thought it was next year. Morbius, which is actually Morbius the Living Vampire from Marvel, which is actually not coming from Marvel Studios. It's coming from Sony because Morbius is part of the Spider-Man universe. So this is part of the shared universe with Venom.
Okay.
And technically Spider-Man and everything that goes along with it. Jared Leto is playing Morbius. So
I like him.
I was a Morbius fan, so we'll see how it is.
I don't know anything about it. I love it.
We're also getting I don't know what that is.
We'll go to the next one.
Okay, so
We're in August.
Let's jump down into August. We're getting a new Mark Wahlberg movie for you to argue
Marky
about.
Mark.
It's Mark Wahlberg, Dylan O'Brien, Chelet. I just lost it. I lost where was that? Anyway, it's called. Where is it? I just lost the movie.
Infinite.
Oh, there it's called Infinite. It's a new movie from Anton Fuqua, which makes me there automatically because I love all
You
his
love
movies.
him.
Let's moving on from this. Hold on, I fell asleep. Okay, we're also getting another big one, Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Yeah.
Which is finally we're getting our
Let's
third
see.
chapter of Bill and Ted while the Keanu, what'd they call it? The Keanu-sance is what they've been calling it because of his big return to everything. He's in the SpongeBob movies. He's got this one coming out. He looks super weird because he shaved his beard, so he doesn't look like John Wick anymore. But it's them playing their age, and they still haven't written the song that's supposed to save the universe. And now their kids are older, and they're dealing with all that. But they brought back a lot of the people that are still around. But you still got William Sadler, who played Death in the second movie, has returned as Death, that kind of thing. Sadly, George Carlin's dead, so he can't come back. Let Him Go, which is another Kevin Costner movie. And Diane Lane, believe this is the one. This is one of those where it's like them trying to save a kidnapped daughter or something like that. So it might be like an action-y kind of thing. The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which is a sequel to the Samuel L. Jackson, Ryan Reynolds, Salma Hayek movie, The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
It's now The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, where all of them come back, and it's just another adventure with
It's
that.
gonna be ridiculous. I know, but full of action.
Yeah. We're trying to zoom there because I know we can unlock. This is another one I'm super excited for. I've seen nothing for. It's called Monster Hunter. I believe it's based on either a book, or series of books, or video game.
Okay.
It's Paul W.S. Anderson, who did the Resident Evil movies and stuff.
Okay.
It does, in fact, star his wife, Mila Jovovich.
That is not surprising.
T.I.,
Okay.
Megan Good,
You love it. You'll be there.
and Tony Jaa.
What?
I'm so
That is
excited.
so random.
I'm so excited. Ron
I'm
Perlman's in there, too.
I'm getting excited about 2020 movies.
Right? We're also getting The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. So finally, the
Another
third chapter of The
Conjuring.
Conjuring. The King's Man, which is the prequel to the Kingsman storylines.
I'm excited about that as well.
Yeah. Without Remorse, which is another Michael B. Jordan movie. Let's see if that one, I want to say I read about it. It's a Tom Clancy novel, so who
Okay.
knows? Let's see. Jump past. There's one with Sacha Baron Cohen and Eddie Redmayne, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, a bunch of them, but it's the Trial of the Chicago 7, which was surprising that I didn't know they made that movie.
I'll go read about it.
Yeah. So if you don't know anything about
I
that,
don't. I'm going to go read.
so then when we jump into October, we're finally getting Venom 2, which Tom Hardy's back, Woody Harrelson's back, Andy Serkis is directing it.
Oh, that's interesting.
So he
Good
did,
for him.
and most people know Andy Serkis as Golem. He was Snoke. He was King Kong. He's master of all CJ Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies.
Love that.
He also directed the Netflix Mowgli movie.
Which I think I've decided I do like the new Caesar movie.
The new what?
The new Planet of the Apes movies. It took me a while to get there because I'm a fan of the originals. But
Right. I like them all. They all have a place.
They all do.
But yeah, so everybody's back from the original. But this time, if you didn't watch Venom or if you have seen Venom and didn't understand it, at the end of the movie, she wouldn't know if I hadn't told her. Woody Harrelson at the after credit scene, there's a scene where Eddie Brock goes and talks to Woody Harrelson, who's Cletus Cassidy. Cletus Cassidy is Carnage.
Oh, okay.
So that means Venom 2, we're having Venom and Carnage.
And I have a Venom t-shirt, so I can wear it to go watch it.
So we're going to get Carnage.
I don't even know why.
I'm super stoked to see Carnage. BIOS, which is another Tom Hanks movie.
Oh, wow.
Don't really say much about it on here.
Okay.
It's got Tom Hanks and Skeet Ulrich, which you used to like Skeet Ulrich.
I did.
So this one you may not know. We're getting a movie called Death on the Nile that is based on another Agatha Christie novel.
Oh, good. No wonder.
And once again, returned with Kenneth Branagh directing and playing the detective, just like a Murder on the Orient Express.
Cool.
So it's basically a sequel, but it's a totally different case. Yes. So it's Gal Gadot, Letitia Wright, Armie Hammer, Annette Bening.
That sounds fun.
Yes.
Okay.
Russell Brand.
I was like, that sounds familiar to me.
Yeah. So it's basically a sequel to Murder on the Orient Express, but it's a whole new movie. The sequel only alone is this detective solving another case.
In another case. Yeah. They could keep doing those. It'd be great.
Yeah. We have a movie called The Witches. It's based on a novel from Ronald Dahl. What's 1990? I think it's the episode novel following the 1990. I'd have to look at the 1990 Witches film. But it's Guillermo del Toro wrote the screenplay with Robert Zemeckis, but Anne Hathaway, Octavia Spencer, Chris Rock, and Stanley Tucci.
Wow.
So
I love Stanley Tucci, by the way.
Yeah.
I love him in anything.
Stanley Tucci. We got Respect, which is coming up. That's exactly what it is. It's Jennifer Hudson is playing whatever. What's her name? I just went blank.
I don't know.
Who sings Respect?
Respect.
Aretha Franklin. Jennifer Hudson's playing Aretha Franklin.
And I feel like Aretha actually approved
She picked her.
Yeah.
Before she
passed. Yeah.
Oh, let's see. We got a movie called.
Her. She better be walking around with her purse because that's what Aretha did.
We got a movie called Fatal with Hilary Swank. So I'm sure you'll watch it because you like Hilary Swank.
I like Hilary Swank.
Another one I'm super looking forward to is Halloween Kills.
Halloween Does Kill.
With Jamie Lee Curtis. It's the sequel to the
Halloween.
To the previous Halloween movie, which in fact was a sequel to the very first Halloween 70s movie.
So it's an in between the two?
No, it's a sequel to that one.
Oh,
so it's essentially the third movie.
The third movie.
So you have Halloween, then you have.
Because at the end of the movie they drive away in the truck.
No, well, yeah, did they?
Kinda.
They get out of the burning house, and that's how it ends.
But we don't know what happens.
Because we're getting two. We're getting Halloween Kills, and then I think next year we're getting Halloween Ends. So we now have a new franchise. You have the original Halloween.
I am in love with these movies.
Well, you have the original Halloween. Then you have Halloween, the new one they made last year or 2 years ago. Yeah, when Jamie Lee Curtis returned. Now we have Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. But you go back and you ignore Halloween 2
all those
to H2O. And you also ignore the Rob Zombie 2.
H2O is so the Rob Zombie one was good.
We're also getting. I'm super excited for this one. If they do it right, oh my god, I'm gonna be so happy. We're getting.
I need to take the dog.
Don't leave.
I need to take the dog real fast.
But this was the one I need to talk about to you.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, let me see what else I can tell you until she comes back. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. We've gone on a little bit late. She walked out of here for no apparent reason because something with the dog. Or something called Everybody Talks About Ryan. I don't know what that is. Those Who Wish Me Dead. Let's see what that is. Well, anyway, if you haven't seen the Halloween movies, I'll go back to that because it took too long.
I'm so sorry.
This next one I'm super stoked for is they're making a Snake Eyes movie from
G.I.
Joe.
It's
just Snake Eyes, so I'm assuming it's going to be about Snake Eyes coming up. And it stars Henry Golding as Snake Eyes.
Oh, yay!
And I'm assuming it's going to be. And Iko Uwais is in it from The Raid.
Oh, cool!
All my people I love are getting big
all your
movies.
Great action people.
And then we jump into November, which is the next big Marvel movie, which is the Eternals. This is when we're starting to get into like the gods and the mystical people, because the Eternals has a massive cast with Kumail Nanjiani, which is the one why he got all jacked up.
Yes, you go boy.
It's Angelina Jolie, Kit Harington, Salma Hayek. All of them are joining the Marvel Universe officially.
Oh, wow.
I think Kit Harington's going to be Black Knight, but we'll see. Stillwater is a movie with Matt Damon coming out.
Matt Damon.
I just said that because I wanted to hear that.
Okay.
Doesn't really say if it's Tim and I lost it. Abigail Breslin. We're getting a live action Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Oh, but John Ritter's not there.
I know.
Is his son in it?
I don't think so.
Because he did the narration.
He was the voice of Clifford, wasn't he?
I think he
or
was.
Or was he just the narrator?
I think I don't remember.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
But
We're getting Clifford the
him.
Big Red Dog. We're getting a movie called Deep Water, which I don't really say. I don't say. Yet another Ben Affleck movie. This time again, Ana de Armas is going to be in it.
So excited.
Tracy Letts, Lil Ray. Lil Ray's been busy.
Lil Rel.
Excuse me. He's been busy, man.
Good for him. I like that TV show he did too.
It got canceled.
I loved it there.
The other big movie I've been super excited for this year is Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh, I'm Team Kong.
Well, it's going to have Alexander Skarsgård and Millie Bobby Brown and all the people it looks like from both movies. So a lot of them are coming together. We are also getting another Disney film this time, which is the Disney animated film, not a Pixar movie, which I'm kind of excited about this just because of its genre. It's Raya and the Last Dragon. And it looks like kind of an Asian dragon kind of thing, which I'm automatically second there.
And John Ritter was the voice of.
That's what I thought. But it has Awkwafina in it.
Oh, I love her, man.
She's great. Really? Oh, okay. We're getting a movie called King Richard with Will Smith, which is about this basketball coach. I'm sorry, Venus and Serena Williams' dad.
Okay.
Not the basketball. I'm thinking of something else. We're also getting Escape Room 2, which you still haven't seen. Escape Room, which is it's another movie I really liked. It's very Saw-like.
Okay.
But it's got a lot of twists and turns trying to get out of the rooms. It's pretty fun. And it opened up a bigger world in the end of it. So I didn't know if it could ever happen.
There could be multiple things happening. Okay, love it.
We're getting a movie called Samaritan, which not a lot's known about it, but it's a superhero film starring Sylvester Stallone.
Okay.
And I believe he's like a retired superhero coming out of retirement. He was the Samaritan or something like that.
Cool.
We're getting another remake of Dune, which if you've never seen Dune, you're probably better off because you won't have as much. But I'd like to revisit. I've never watched the original all the way through.
Yeah.
Because that always bored me. But it was one of those that people love.
People love it, right?
But it's got the guy from Twin Peaks. I always forget his name. Him. It's got Sting in it. It's got Patrick Stewart in it when he had hair. It's got a ton of people in the movie. The new one I'm super excited for because the guy directing is the same one that did Blade Runner 2045 or whatever. So I think that's what it is. But it's Eric. Hold on. It's Timothy Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin, Dave Bautista, Zendaya, Jason Momoa, Javier Bardem.
Dude, 84.
All these people are in this movie. So I'm already in just because of the cast. Steven Spielberg, which you may not know about this either, he has a remake of West Side Story coming out, which I don't know if you cared about West Side Story. Yes. So that's coming out with directed by Steven Spielberg.
Who's the main lady?
It's got Ansel Elgort, Baby Driver, in it. I don't know who all the people you have to look up to see who directed. Rita Moreno's in it though.
Oh, is she really?
Yes.
She was in the other one.
We also got another one I'm super excited for. We've been waiting for years. Coming to America. America. But instead of coming to, it's coming number 2 because it's the original. And it is bringing back, in fact, Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall.
Sorry.
Louis Anderson, I believe, has a cameo in it.
Nice.
The original, I think John Amos, I think, is coming back. A lot of the original, they're replaying a lot of the same characters that they multiple played. This time, they're also adding Leslie Jones. James Earl Jones is coming back as his dad.
Nice.
Wesley Snipes is going to be in it. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to it. The one I want to be good, but I don't think it's going to be good, is they have a new Tom and Jerry movie coming out.
I love Tom
But I believe it's going to be a animated live action amalgam, probably like Garfield kind of thing.
We'll
so
see.
I don't know,
We'll
but
see.
I don't have hopes for that. The one that I didn't know was already fixing to come out finally is The Croods 2.
Oh, they were so fun.
Yeah, the cavemen with
Our little
Nicolas
prehistoric
Cage.
family.
Yeah,
Love
so that was
them.
always good. There's a movie called The Tomorrow War coming out. I know. That's Chris Pratt and Yvonne Straczynski and J.K. Simmons. I think it's like a post-apocalyptic. Is that this one? Doesn't say. Yeah, I think it's this post-apocalyptic thing. We got News of the World, yet another Tom Hanks movie. I don't know what it's about. And The Last Duel, which is Matt Damon and Ben Affleck teaming back up once again, along with Adam Driver. So we'll see. So that rounds out the year. So that was 2020
There's so
upcoming.
much happening.
Yeah, and that's not even stuff that that's just stuff that's here that they told us about
right now.
There's other things that I've heard that were supposed to come out that we don't know if are actually coming. There's Blu-ray and DVD stuff. There's going to be Netflix movies. There's going to be, because there's supposed to be a movie coming to Netflix, I believe, that's Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot, and some action movie, I think, but I think it's Netflix only. So
that's going to be awesome. It's an awesome year, you
and
guys.
don't even think about the TV, because you got another season of Clone Wars hitting next month. You got The Mandalorian season 2 in the fall. We got some of the, it looks like they're going to move up. I believe Falcon Winter Soldier TV series on Disney Plus is hitting this year. And I think WandaVision's hitting this year, which is a TV series. They're all with the original stars live action.
So many.
And we have that
happening.
animated What If series because of Disney Plus. I cannot wait for it. You know what Disney What If is?
It's some other thing that they never aired. I don't know.
What are you?
I just made.
What If is a comic that Marvel's been making for years. I don't know if they do now, but and it would take a story and say, what if? And then it said, like, what if Wolverine was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Or what if the Punisher got the Venom symbiote?
Oh,
it's just random what if stories. Yeah, it's just random what if stories, and they just can tell new stories about the same characters, and so they have an animated series coming out of that. So and a lot of it, I believe, is going to take place about the characters in the last 10 years, and what if Tony Stark did this, and what if this
cool. That'd
be interesting. Anyway, so that's pretty much it then.
Okay.
We went up almost an hour and a half tonight.
So sorry.
So sorry we went late, but we wanted to go through everything.
Okay, so do you have any movies coming out on the Dipped?
I do. In fact.
Tuesday.
This week, of course, we have this one I just told y'all about. The Girl on the Third Floor, if you want to check it out. It comes out this week. The Lighthouse, starring Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, which hopefully we'll be talking about next week.
Yes.
From my knowledge, yes, he will.
Sexual Chocolate be performing again and coming to America.
The Lighthouse comes out this week.
I'm so excited to see
this
I was
told they were sending it to me, so hopefully we'll be able to talk about it next week.
We completely missed it somehow.
Also,
my computer just died.
Did it completely die? Okay. Also, one of the other movies that was one of my favorites this year, Joker. Yes, I already have it. It's coming out next week.
Give me your phone so I can look up what I need to look up.
What do you need to look up?
So what the movies that are at the theater.
I'll pull it for you in a minute. I can pull it real fast. Anyway, the Joker's coming out this week. It's another one of my favorites this year. It's got some little interesting things. I want to revisit and see how I only saw it once.
Yeah.
I want to rewatch and see if I still love it as much as I loved it the first time.
Yeah.
It might be one of those that's just too much.
It was one of my honorable mentions of the year. I didn't enjoy it, but I think it's an important movie for everyone to see. And it's hard to watch, but I think that's why it was good. He did a great job.
There was a lot of division too, and I liked, and I have a friend of mine who's a critic. I'm not going to mention his name here. He had a big problem with it, and he talked about it, and me and him talked about it. And I totally respected his issue, and I got what he understood.
Yeah.
And he deals with some things, and I got something different out of it.
Yeah.
And we respect each other's opinions.
Cool,
but it's crazy how his opinions caused him, because of his dislike for the movie, for a different reason. Not because he thought Joaquin was great. He thought the movie itself, as cinema goes, was great.
Really?
He just had issues with some of the way it was handled.
That's okay.
And he even revisited it, wrote a whole different thing after he saw it, getting ready for award time, and had a different appreciation for it, but still had some of those same issues. But he was getting death threats and attacks because of his dislike for it, which is just bullshit.
That's dumb.
People that have those issues are stupid. Anyway, I'm sorry. I felt this urge to defend him. Nicolas Cage has a new movie coming out this week called Primal. I don't know anything about it. It's Nicolas Cage and something else. A movie called Crown Vic with Thomas Jane, which I've been wanting to see. Cool. Also, for whatever weird reason, kind of like Undercover Brother 2, Universal has also made Bulletproof 2. Do you even know what Bulletproof is? Bulletproof was a movie I enjoyed. It was Adam Sandler and Damon Wayans. It was about a criminal and a cop that had to team up. Mm-hmm. It was a buddy cop comedy action thing. Now they made Bulletproof 2 coming straight to Blu-ray. 2 completely different actors. I think playing the same characters. I don't know, but it's coming out whether we want it or not. So that's the big stuff coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. This next week is a big week for movies.
This is my section.
Yeah, so I'm going to pull it up so you can see it.
Okay, I can see. Thank you.
Hold on, let me get to your day. Okay, it's right here.
Okay, so one that's making me very scared and nervous because I can't swim is Underwater.
It looks claustrophobic, too.
It does. Starring
Kristen Stewart. I was fixing to say Kristen Chenoweth. Underwater.
It is feeling me claustrophobic and everything. And then this latest little preview trailer is like, when you're this many feet underwater, your breathing slows down, but your heart rate speeds up, causing panic. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. So
between the claustrophobia and your fear of water,
I want to see this. I want to see this on a big screen.
Yeah. We're definitely gonna watch that one.
Also, Just Mercy, which we have already seen. It stars Michael B. Jordan
and Jamie Foxx
and Brie Larson. And it is such an emotional, moving movie. We'll talk about it. Like a Boss is also coming out.
You're getting to see on Tuesday.
I will see this week. It's Tiffany Haddish and Selma Hayek and
Jackie Q. What's
Jackie
her name?
Q. Oh Lord, what is her name?
Maggie.
No.
Yes.
What is Jackie Q's name?
Oh my God.
I know. I call
Rose Byrne.
Rose Byrne. Anyways, what is The Informer?
The Informer is one of those that I don't think it's going to get a wide release.
It might be limited this week.
It's Joe Kinahan. I don't even remember that. Kinnaman, the guy from The Killing and RoboCop.
Oh, love him. And then we also have 1917, which is that war movie that we've been waiting. I feel like it was supposed to come out on Christmas.
It got limited release on Christmas for award stuff.
I see.
That's
now
what happened
because
we got all excited to go see it, or I did, because I've been really wanting to see it,
and it wasn't.
And it never showed up anywhere. So this Friday is its official release date.
Yeah. So that's what's happening this week at the movies.
Yeah. So the plan is to at least see those 4 movies. Just Mercy's for sure. Like a Boss is for sure. We just got to work on those other
Underwater and 1917.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I'll have to see Like a Boss.
1917 seems a little stressful, but epic at the same time.
Yeah, I've heard it's amazing. And Like a Boss is one of those that if I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't.
I love Tiffany Haddish.
I'm having a you situation. I'm so tired of that trailer.
I know.
It doesn't even make me laugh anymore.
Yeah, sometimes that happens when you see movies too often. You see the trailers over and over. You just hate the movie before you've seen it.
Moving on real quick. We don't have a ton of contests going on. Right now, there's I left it up because I don't know if they're still doing it or not. But I know they expanded it, so I'm going to assume that it's still happening. Either way, whether it's not or not, I still want to promote it. But we have the Ip Man 4, the finale. I still want to try to go see it on the big screen, me and you, because you haven't seen it yet, and you can take you to kettle corn. That's why I sell her. Certain theaters have certain things.
Yeah, certain theaters have kettle corn.
So go to our website at
HollywoodMatrimony.com
and look up our Ip Man 4 prize bet contest. We're not actually physically hosting it. Well Go USA is hosting it, but I'm doing it for them, promoting it. And all you have to do is go see the movie. I posted it on our Facebook page at Hollywood Matrimony. It did so well that it opened up in even more theaters and around the world. It's already, I think in Malaysia, it's already the top grossing Chinese movie of all time. Nice. So the numbers are starting to roll in. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. All you have to do is see the movie, tweet out a picture of you with the poster or the thing, and you can enter with the price back. We're also giving away digital copies of Maleficent 2, Mistress of Evil. That'll probably be coming out in the next week or so. Good. It was okay.
I liked it.
I enjoyed the first one. The second one was decent. We talked about it. It kind of bounced around a little bit. But anyway, those are the only 2 we got so far. But we're just hitting the new year. So I know a few other things are about to hit of contests we're going to be giving away. So that's it. Give us a plug.
All right.
Lady.
Thank you so much for watching us live on YouTube and Facebook. We love you. We appreciate you. You can also find us on the Twitter and the Instagram. Make sure you check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com, every single day.
And we went a little bit longer today, but that's because we wanted to talk about an entire year. Yeah, so we thank you for watching, even if you weren't watching, but you should be watching. I've seen Star Wars 6 times.
That's too many.
Is it, though?
It is.
Well, by next week, I'll have seen it 7.
At one time, yes. Throughout the years, no. But
by next Sunday's show, I will have seen it 7 times.
You're just trying to get posters.
The last 4 showings were for the posters. So if you don't know about said posters, AMC if you go see the movie on Sunday in IMAX, they have posters that are exclusive each week. They have 4 of them.
They tried to not give you your poster.
I went in today. That's my theater experience. I'll tell you real fast. I get there. It wasn't really that big a deal. It was just funny. I go in there specifically only going to see it this week and next week and the last couple because I want the poster. I wanted to see the movie again because I love seeing them on the big screen. I love the movie. My Star Wars nerdyism tells everyone.
Me too. Mine says,
that I obviously love the Wars of Star.
Mine says, may the forks be with you.
But I get there, and as the guy's scanning my thing, I look down and I see the posters that they're about to give me. It is last week's poster. And I'm like, no, 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 no. So he says, would you like a poster? And I said, not that one. I said, do you have the new poster? And he's like, I'm sorry, sir, this is the one we have today. I said, this is last week's poster. And he looked at it. He clearly didn't know, and he was just a guy, ticket counter, whatever. And I said, this is the only reason I'm seeing this today, so where's poster number 3? And he could argue if he wanted to, but they say 1 of 4, 2 of 4.
Mm-hmm.
It says 2 of 4. This is the 3rd week, so it couldn't have been number 2. So he's like, go talk to customer service. I went over to customer service. I asked the same guy, different guy. I'm like, hey, any chance you have the poster? Well, you have to, it's whatever poster's over there. So that's last week's poster. I've already seen this movie. I made it sound like I was being put out to have to watch it. I was like, I've already seen this movie. I'm only here to get that poster. So I bought a ticket to watch it again. I have a list, so did I though? And
you did technically.
He's like, well, I think that's all he goes, but you have to get that. I said, I got IMAX, so I know which one I'm supposed to have. Well, let me check the closet. So it goes in the closet, comes out. I'm gonna have to go upstairs to check the back thing. And I think he kind of paused. He looks super sleepy too, but it was also like the 11 o'clock show, so the theater opens at like 10 something. So he was probably tired. But he looked like he was pausing, hoping I'd be like, sounds like too much trouble. Don't worry about it. That's not this guy. I'm like, I'll wait. And I had like 20 minutes still before my movie started. So I plopped down next to the guy, and he's like, all right. It disappears. I sit down. Me and the other guy are talking, and all of a sudden he comes out with a big handful of these posters.
Uh-huh.
And he plops down, and he doesn't make eye contact with me. As he's changing them, he's like... And I'm the only person waiting for a poster. Nobody else was asking about him. And so the other guy is like, hey, man, they got him. I said, oh, I'm aware. I said, thank you, sir. Got my poster. When I left, though, after the movie, the box office guy was gone. The posters were gone. Everybody was at the customer service counter. And somebody else texted me, a friend of mine, that said that they were being pretty stingy about the posters at the counter of them, only giving them, make sure what tickets you had, and so we'll see. So next week I have to see it one more time to get the final poster.
Poster 4.
And this will probably be the sad end of my theatrical Star Wars experience for a few years, because we're not getting another movie for a couple of years. So I'm getting as much Star Wars on the big screen as I can.
That's a lot.
So anyway, thank you for checking out this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Don't forget, Monday, tomorrow, we'll be back here for an all-new episode of Martial Arts Movie Mondays, where I'm talking about a trilogy of one of the biggest martial arts icon of all time. And it's not Bruce Lee, so you figure it out. I'll be talking about it tomorrow, then we'll be back here for another episode of TV Tuesdays. We got all kinds of new stuff to talk about.
We watched a lot of TV shows during this last week.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff to take.
Because I was home for a while.
If we stop watching TV shows and go to the movies, so maybe we have more to watch. Anyway, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about that. And then we'll be back here for an all-new episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live on Sunday. Please, please, please be sure to hit the subscribe button below, or hit the one on the orb if it shows up, and watch whatever trailer shows up here, and watch out our website at
HollywoodMatrimony.com
for all kind of news and content this week. Thank you all. Hope you all have a wonderful New Year's. Hope you have a wonderful year coming up, and we will see you next week. Peace and love.